Hello, I'm Dr. Grant Gibson, and welcome back to the Be Unhackable Book Club, where we are going through 30 days of becoming unhackable. And today we are on day 16, alignment, and it's actually aligning your asset. And this is an important, really, really important day, and I'm going to get into that a little bit more. But let's first turn to Kerry again from November, and he will actually give you some instruction.
Hey, everybody, we are in day 16 in the Unhackable 30-day book launch. Listen, again, Unhackable day 16 30-day book club. The topic today is all about aligning your assets. And I'm wearing the shirt, Unhackable. Boom! And I hope you're having a fantastic day. Let me just say, folks, that this is a very important day for a couple of reasons. Number one, in day 16, what we basically do is we hit the tendency of people trying to wish they were somebody else. Let me ask you that again. Have you ever wished you were somebody else? Just the other day, I saw someone post, if you could be any celebrity, who would you be? You know what? My buddy Chaz said, nobody. And you know what? I gave him an applause. In other words, I'm so excited that Chaz says, you know what? Out of anybody in the world, I would choose to be me. Now, listen, I know it's a fun, cute exercise to pretend you're somebody else, but there's a danger in that activity. You ready for this? Here's what it is, folks. You stop showing up in your own life. In other words, counselors call this disassociation. They call it a disorder where you basically try to get out of the pain that's happening in your own life and you essentially leave your own body. Now, in a horrible abuse situation, this is actually called a coping mechanism. So just think about this for a moment. In horrible abuse situations, people literally go out of their own mind so that they can disassociate. In other words, deal with the trauma that's happening. And that's a horrible, horrible situation, and our hearts go out to anybody who's been traumatized. However, most of us do that in a micro way. Let me say that again. Many of us choose to dissociate from our own lives in a micro way to escape the pain of what's going on. Now, listen, the cute way to call it is daydreaming. Oh, you're daydreaming. Isn't that interesting? But when do you daydream? Many times you daydream back in the school days when you're bored, when you're frustrated, when you want to escape. Now, let me tell you, folks, when you daydream, you stop showing up filled up in your own life. In other words, it's a hack. Disassociation, daydreaming, choosing to escape your own life is a hack, and it's not a good hack. Because when you are escaping your life, you can't show up filled up anymore. And that is a major problem. If you want to be unhackable, you got to show up filled up, even though parts of your life have pain. Now, let me share this for a moment. If you have chronic pain, that's dull pain, it's purposeless, it's pain that's always there in the background, it's kind of like something's dragging you down. That type of pain will slowly kill you. I'm talking about emotional chronic pain. I'm talking about physical chronic pain. I'm talking about financial chronic pain. But listen, when you welcome pain, like right now, this is a painful video. Some people are saying, oh man, I don't want to hear about this. I want to just click off of this. Why? Because it's painful. But here's the beauty of this, folks. That's acute pain. That means that the pain is short term, it's focused, it's intentional. Just like when I had shoulder surgery, I needed some acute pain so that I could overcome the chronic pain of a torn rotator cuff. And now my shoulder works because I essentially invited some of that acute pain. In the Unhackable book, this is the day where it gets a little bit painful. But I know you're strong, and I know that you want to overcome the chronic pain in your life, and that's why you're allowing me to inject a little bit of acute pain, and I'm proud of you. That's why you are unhackable. All right, so folks, listen. If you're not part of the free 30-day book club, get in it. Look for it on Facebook. If you don't have your Kindle, your physical book, your audiobook, get it. Why? Because we are in the 30-day journey of becoming unhackable in work and life.
So the idea here is Carrie actually talked about dissociation, the habit of dissociation, where you're actually trying to get yourself out of your current situation. He talked about chronic pain versus acute pain, where chronic pain is just letting life happen to you, and acute pain is going through a difficult situation to make the next step to get to the next level. And he also talked about daydreaming. Well, I want to take you a little bit further. So as you remember, it says align your assets. What is an asset? An asset is basically something that brings value, something that is valuable. And so what you're going to do is you're taking, okay, what are the pieces of me that are valuable? Now, I'm going to make you think a little bit here, because my observation of most individuals that I run into is that every single individual is extraordinary. Now, they're not extraordinary in the exact same way. Each person has their own strengths, has their own talents, has their own abilities, and has their own weaknesses. The point is, you have your own strengths, your own abilities or talents, and your own weaknesses. Each of those is an asset, even your weaknesses. Did you know that your weaknesses may be the reason that you can actually succeed in what you're trying to do? Because of your weaknesses, because of the strengths that those weaknesses will give you, or the insights, or the whatever that those will give you. So whatever it is, what you need to do is you need to go through and determine who you currently are, and how your strengths and your talents and your assets are going to help you reach your boom. And then stop trying to be somebody else and be you. And the idea is, write out a sentence for each of your assets that describes how it will help you reach your boom. And your assets, I want you to talk about your strengths, your talents, and even your weaknesses, and say, how are these going to help me reach my boom? And as you do this, which is actually going to be a difficult, or what Carrie would call an acute pain process, you will be able to take a step forward and say, okay, this is a huge deal for me, and this is going to allow me to truly become extraordinary and truly become unhackable. So my goal here, just to remind you, is to help you reach your goals, live your dream, and enjoy an extraordinary life. And the secret is to become unhackable. And we just talked about day 16, which is count your assets. And I invite you to truly count your assets and determine who you truly are, because there are people in the world that would love to be you. So look at yourself that way and determine what makes you that. This is Dr. Brent Gibson. And if you need the Unhackable book, you can still reach into the Unhackable Book Club and the Be Unhackable Book Club at unhackablechoices.com and actually get your free book. This is Dr. Brent Gibson. Have a great rest of your day.